Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Swivel Yoga. I'm Joe, and today we got a quick little flow. As always, there's a link to a playlist on Spotify in the description. So if you want to follow along to music, that's there for you. And then other things you may need, a couple blocks, some books. Potentially, you might not need them, but I recommend grabbing them in case you do need them. So let's get started. We're going to start in mountain pose at the top of our mat. So you can play the playlist now too if you're going that route. But all right, so in this mountain pose, we're going to be powerful and engaged. Starting at the feet, we've got a grounding in all the corners of both of our feet. Working our way up, you can engage your calf muscles, engage your inner thighs, maybe finding a slight inner rotation like you're screwing your feet into the mat figuratively. So your heels will be pushing outward, you'll be rolling inward on the balls of your feet a little bit, engaging your glutes, engaging your core. Your shoulders are going to be back, away from the ears. Find slight engagement in your back muscles. Your chin will be parallel with the ground. Your palms can be facing forward. We're really just turning on all the muscles that we're going to be using in this practice, this quick flow. Take a few collective breaths here, collective inhale. A couple breaths to collect yourself is what I meant, myself included. So inhale, exhale. Maybe setting an intention for your practice today. Remembering why you're here. One more breath while you think of that intention. All right, then on your next inhale, we're going to rise our arms up, sink our weight back into our heels, sit back down into a chair pose. It's a good way to wake up in the practice. Here you can also roll out your wrists a little bit. We are going to be doing some planks and some downward dogs, so it's not a bad idea to roll out your wrists, maybe open your fingers a few times. And that will help keep your mind off of the fact that we are in a chair pose with our core engaged, our tail slightly tucked under to protect our lower back, engaging the core. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Let it all out into a forward fold. We're going to hang here in this forward fold for a little bit. So maybe you find opposing elbows and ragdoll this thing out. Shaking your hips left, right. Shaking your head left, right. Shaking your head forward, backwards. Maybe the crown of your head points towards the ground. Finding stillness. Another breath here. Then on your next inhale, rise up into a forward or a halfway lift, my apologies. Straightening the spine, pointing your crown towards whatever's in front of you. Neck straight. And then exhale, plant your palms down, and then you can hop, skip, or step back into a high plank. From here, you can either lower down into chaturanga, or you can come with me and lower all the way down to a cobra pose. Or, well, I guess all the way down to the mat. We will go into cobra pose. So when we're all the way on the mat, we're going to plant our hands under our shoulders and then hug in your elbows tight to your rib cage. And then we're going to inhale our chin up using our back muscles, and our elbows are going to scrape our rib cage because they're in nice and tight. One more breath here, looking forward. And then exhale, lower it all the way down, back down. Then we're going to inhale and push ourselves into a downward facing dog, but maybe you test your strength into a high plank. And if you
lowered to chaturanga, you could inhale to an upward dog and then exhale to a downward dog. But regardless, we will meet in downward facing dog here. We're going to pedal it out a few times. Left, right, bending one knee, bending the other knee, maybe finding a little stretch in our calves. I woke up this morning with a gnarly calf cramp. It was a great way to wake up the day. I was awake instantly. I did not want to hit snooze, but my calf is still feeling it. So I'll spend a little extra time on the right calf. But regardless, we're going to find stillness here. Hopefully your calves are doing great. And on your next inhale, we're going to step our right leg to the top of the mat between our hands, and then inhale all the way up into a warrior one with the weight in the ball of our front foot, a bend in our knee, and our left foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle with the weight in the pinky edge side of that foot. Your hips are going to be square with the front of the mat. Your core is engaged. Your shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Maybe you find a slight gaze upward as you inhale. Then exhale, we're going to send our hands down to frame our right foot and send our right foot back into a high plank. From here, you can find the cobra to a downward dog like we did earlier, or you can lower slowly halfway into a chaturanga. Here's where your elbows will scrape your wrists, or your elbows will scrape your ribs. And then inhale to an upward facing dog, and exhale, your hips high, back into a downward facing dog. We're going to waste no time and get right into the left foot. Inhale, send it up to the top of the mat between your hands, and spin your right foot into a warrior one. Again here, weight in the pinky edge side of your right foot, in the ball of your front foot, a nice bend in your knee. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, your core is engaged, your right glute is engaged. Maybe you find a slight gaze upward, and then on an inhale and an exhale down, sending your left foot back into a high plank, lowering slowly down to that chaturanga, inhaling upward dog and exhaling back to a downward facing dog. We're going to hold this downward dog for a few breaths here, finding stillness, remembering your intention. Again, why are you here? Why are you on the mat right now? On your next inhale, look towards the top of the mat. Then you can hop, skip, or float, or jump, or walk to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Then we're going to inhale, halfway lift. Then exhale, sink your hips down and back, weight in the heels. Another chair pose. Engaging your core here. Maybe you close your eyes for another breath, and then inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale your hands through heart center into a mountain pose. Maybe you roll your shoulders out a little bit here, and then again, stillness in this mountain. That was one Sun B. Got one more on the agenda to get nice and warmed up. All right, so on your next inhale, reach your arms forward. Exhale, sink your hips back, weight into the heels, core is engaged, tail slightly tucked, protecting the lower back. We're back here in this chair pose. There's quite a few chairs in this quick flow, but well, actually there's one more after this one. So yeah, there's one more after this one. So 4 in a quick little flow. As I thought about it and did the math, now we're going to exhale, let it all out to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, send your feet back into a high plank. Shift your weight forward, lower down slowly, either to all the way for a cobra or halfway into a chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing dog or your cobra. Exhale, we'll all meet into a downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right foot to the top of the mat between your legs. And here we can take that warrior one again, or you can just take a crescent lunge. If you're taking a crescent lunge, you're going to be on the toes of your back foot. And if you're in that warrior one, you're going to be at the 45-degree angle in your back foot. We're going to take another breath here. Regardless, we've got a bend in our front knee and we're engaging our core and our left glute. Another breath here, and then exhale. We're going to send our hands down, frame the right foot, send the right foot back. Inhale, shift the weight forward, lower slowly into all the way for cobra or halfway chaturanga. Inhale for up dog, or now you'd find your cobra, and then exhale. We'll all meet downward facing dog. Then we can inhale our left foot to the top of the mat. Again, you can find warrior one if you found it on the other side, or you can just go straight up for that crescent lunge. Again, bending in the front foot, weight in the front balls of the feet, well, the ball of your left foot, engaging your core, engaging your right glute. Maybe find a slight gaze upward. Inhale and exhale. Send your hands down to frame the left foot. Send your left foot back. Shift your weight forward. Lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale. Up dog. Exhale. We'll all meet in the downward facing dog. Enjoy the stillness here in this downward facing dog. Because we've got one more chair coming up. But that's a moment in the future. And in this moment now, we're in downward dog. So, find stillness of the body and the mind. All right, on your next inhale, look forward, and you can hop, skip, or jump to the top of the mat in a forward fold. And we're going to inhale, hips back, arms up, the final chair. Make it a good one. Maybe you sink a little lower in this one. Weight in the heels, core's engaged, shoulders are down away from the ears. You're enjoying yourself. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center, down to your sides in this mountain pose when we are engaged and still. All right, so from here, we're going to take a Warrior 2 series. So we're going to need to go to the back of our mat. We have two options of getting there. One, you can just walk, or if you'd like to find a little bit of expression in your calves, take it up to the tippy toes, turn around, and tiptoe your way to the back of the mat. All right. Once you're there, you're going to look so your feet are parallel with the short edge side of the mat. And from here, we're going to step it out into a Warrior 2 on an inhale. So you can inhale your arms parallel to the floor. Bring your your left foot to the top of the mat with a nice bend in it. Your shoulders are going to be over your hips. Your hips are going to be open to the long edge side of the mat. The weight is going to be in the ball of your front foot and the pinky edge side of your back foot. And your gaze is going to look over your left middle finger. Remember, you want to keep your weight centered over your hips. Maybe you find a deeper bend in your front leg. And from here, we're going to take this into a humble warrior. So inhale, flip your palms, and then tilt your shoulders back. Look toward your top hand, and then finding length in your left side body, finding a stretch. You can even bind your right hand to your left hip if that's more comfortable. Otherwise, you can keep your right hand on your right thigh. Then we're going to inhale it up back into that Warrior 1. Then we're going to hold here for a breath. Maybe you adjust your stance. Try and keep it long with a nice bend in the front knee.
Then from here, we're going to take a bent leg triangle. So inhale, shift your weight forward and find an opposite expression or the opposite tilt as where we were before. So your left hand, maybe you find a block on the inside of your foot and you're not going to want to, you can rest your elbow on your thigh, otherwise trying not to dump weight into your thigh, and your gaze might find your look upward towards your top right hand. Then from here we're going to inhale back, warrior two, hold it here for a breath, then flip our palms back into that humble warrior, whichever variation of your bottom hand you want. Inhale back into that warrior two, and then inhale, hold it for a breath on warrior two, then inhale, shift your weight forward, bent leg, triangle, inhale it back up to warrior two, straighten your front leg, turn your left foot so it's parallel with your back foot, and here we're going to be in a wide-legged stance facing the long edge side of our mat. Here we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold, so bending at your hips, slowly lowering down the mat. Here we've got a couple of options. Maybe you put your hands, you just plant your palms on the mat in front of you and keep your spine straight and really focus on your hamstrings. Maybe you find a slight bend in your knees if that's more comfortable, and if you want it more of a back stretch, you can face the crown of your head to the ground. Maybe you find your hands on the backs of your calves. Maybe you give a slight pull for a deeper expression of this, pulling the crown to the floor. Maybe you're feeling really good and the crown of your head touches the floor. If not, that's okay. Maybe tomorrow. Let's find stillness here. I'll stop talking for a second. All right, on your next inhale, using your strong core, maybe your hands find your hips and you lift all the way up back into this wide-legged pose. And then from here, we can step our right foot to meet our left at the top of the mat. And then we can inhale our arms high, exhale them out into mountain or through heart center into mountain. Just find stillness in mountain before we find warrior on the opposite foot. Try and resist the urge to move, even though I always have to adjust my shirt. Well, I don't actually have to, I just do. And then my mind starts wandering. Just resist. All right. So we're going to find warrior two with our right leg in front this time. So inhale, your arms parallel, then bring your right foot to the new top of the mat. Weight in the ball of the right foot, the pinky edge side of the left foot. Arms are still parallel with the floor. Your gaze will look just over your right middle fingers. Your shoulders are square over your hips. Your head is nice and centered over your body. Your gaze forward. You're strong here. You're powerful. From here, we're going to take it to reverse warrior. So inhale, flip your palms. Bring your right arm up top. Maybe your left arm finds your left thigh or behind your back for a bind. You're finding length and a stretch in your right side body. We're holding this for a second, maintaining a bend in your right knee. Then we're going to inhale up back into that warrior two. Holding here. Then you're going to inhale, shift your weight forward, and then rotate into this bent leg triangle. Again, you can find a block on the inside of your right foot. That's more comfortable. Trying not to dump all your weight into the block. using your strong core here. Maybe your gaze looks up towards your left hand. Your right arm, elbow could press towards your right knee, your right thigh area. Just try not to dump weight into it, as I am. We're going to inhale back up to that warrior two. Holding here again. Gaze over the front finger. Our legs are staying the same. Our core is still engaged. Inhale, flip your palms. Bring your right hand up. Again, lengthen the right side body. Holding it for a breath here in this reverse warrior. And we're going to inhale back up to warrior two. One more time. Shift your arms forward. Rotate it down into your bent leg triangle pose. Engaging your left thigh here, engaging your core, finding length in your left side body here. Maybe your arm carries, your left arm goes over your head even more, finding more length in that left side, more stretch. Then we're going to inhale back up to that warrior two. Pivoting on our right heel, bringing our right foot parallel with our left. Here, we're going to again find a wide leg forward fold. This time we're going to take a twist. So first get into your fold, and then you're going to want to plant your left hand in front of your face, keeping a straight spine, and then inhale your right arm to the sky, or as twisted as you want to get, or as it's comfortable. On your inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, maybe you twist a little deeper. Maybe you do that again. Just twisting your spine out here. Then we're going to exhale your arm down, your right arm down to where your left hand is, and then inhale. We're going to switch that twist. So your left arm is going to go to the sky. Maybe your gaze follows. Well, your gaze ideally will follow, but twist as deep as you feel comfortable. Finding length in your spine on the inhales, the deeper expression of the twist on your exhales. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, both hands to the floor. From here, we're going to fold again in this wide leg forward fold. Maybe this time your hands reach behind you and you use your biceps to pull your head down, your crown down towards the floor, or you're just hanging out in this fold. Either way, you're doing it right, as long as you're not hurting yourself. Maybe here you shift your weight forward and backwards from the heels of your feet to the balls of your feet, just feeling the control you have working out little muscles that you might not use on a regular basis. So from here, we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Inhale all the way up, and then last time we brought our right foot to our left, so this time we're going to bring our left foot to our right foot. Maybe it's one step, maybe it's a few. And then we are going to tiptoe, step, or just get to the middle of your mat. And here, this is the hardest part of the practice. You just got to sit down however you feel comfortable. I just like to sit down. That's awesome. All right. So from here, we're going to lay back. There's no wrong way to do this. You're just laying down. But we are going to bring our right knee into our chest, pressing through our left heel, trying to press it or keep it pointed towards the sky and press it on whatever surface would be beyond your foot, your left foot. So finding length through your heel, basically your Achilles and your calf. And then you're going to interlace your fingers below your right knee. Maybe you pull your right knee in towards your shoulder as much as it's comfortable, getting a nice stretch in your right leg. Then, we're going to hold it for a couple breaths. Then exhale your right foot leg out long. Inhale your left knee into the chest. This time we'll push through our right heel
pointing our right toes towards the sky, trying to find expansion in our right calf and Achilles, then pulling our our left knee towards our left shoulder with our fingers interlaced just below our left knee. Couple breaths here. Then exhale your left leg out long. And then we're going to inhale both knees to the chest, finding our hands just below our knees. And maybe we rock a little left and right here, massaging the spine, I guess. I don't know, people always say massaging the spine, and I'm like, I don't know if I would really call this a spine massage. It's definitely a unique sensation, but regardless, it's what we're doing. Maybe you massage or rock a little bit back and forward and backwards. Why does back and forward sound so weird? Anyway, this is good. We're getting all the kinks out before our final rest. So exhale, your legs all the way out into a corpse pose. We got some blocks in the way. If they're in the way, just kick them out. And I would encourage you to just get wide in this final rest, but maybe you find reclined, bound angle, or like this, if that serves you. Maybe you move over to the wall and put your feet up it. Doesn't matter how you do it. This feels good. It's gonna feel even better in a second. All right. So, hopefully, you have found your final resting place. And if not, that's okay. But just get somewhere, close your eyes, be still. Remember the intention you set earlier. Maybe you take a mental note of how the practice went, like, that was terrible, that was awesome. Be real with yourself. Sometimes it's hard to be real with yourself, but it's good to do hard things. Now just let all the thoughts that we just poked out, let them go. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you got something out of it. I know I did. Stay in this position as long as you would like. Namaste.